I'm a little late on these supers, but the weather has been really bad. Now I'm leaving a super on our hives, and I find it's really beneficial because last year I left a few supers on and I didn't need to feed those bees at all. No sugar, no fondant, no syrups, just giving the bees their own honey. They've worked for it, this is their food, and it's the best thing for them. And you don't need to worry about them over the winter. You can do your hefting and checking on the hives, but they were fine last year. The only real drawback to leaving supers on is treating the hives. If you are treating with chemical treatments, never leave a super on. That also, for me, goes for oxalic acid as well. Any sort of varroa treatments, any treatments at all, I never leave a super on if it's for human use. The other downside is that the queen will most likely lay in the super in the spring. But that's not really an issue because you can use frames like, let's have a look what we've got in here. So I like to build my own and put in the wire myself, as you can see there. Now the beauty of that is you can actually take all of this comb off and they will rebuild and it won't leave a mess. It's not like those triangular, as I like to call them, frames where they have the wire going at an angle. I cannot stand those frames because you can't do anything with them. You can scrape and then it will just destroy because there's wire all throughout the frame. Whereas these, you can just chop it back, completely slice that off, and they will rebuild it. That's my preference anyway, is to have the wire going across. If the queen does lay, you can do that, but I don't like to use supers with any remnants of brood, even if it's a one-time thing. And normally she will lay in the spring when they're building up. It's very healthy. The other benefit of leaving supers on the hive is that they've got room already for them. You don't need to panic about putting supers on so quickly. If it's a good spring and it's got a good honey flow, you don't need to panic. They've already got a super, they can fill it. Now I'm a little late. It is early September. I'm not worried because I'm leaving this on anyway. So I have taken the main extraction before we had 2 weeks of solid rain, which was incredible. I'm quite pleased I left 2 supers on because they have consumed it. I mean, you can see they've actually eaten their own food, can you believe? So I'm going through this one where I've only put a couple in there, and I'm going to narrow it down to 9 or 10 frames to give them over the winter period. So let's go through and have a look. I haven't taken any queen excluders off yet. So there you go, you can see there was actually a late honey flow in August. So I did leave an extra super on because they were filling, and some of the hives here were actually getting honey bound in the brood box. So making sure they had enough room for more honey is great. I have put blank starter strips in here. They all can come out. So here we go, a nice frame. You can see they're still filling. So this is all theirs for winter. Same with this one here. There you go, look at that. So we'll put those back. That's quite full. Look at that. So they can have that. This one's a blank one. Come on, out you get. That can come out. That's quite a nice heavy frame, so they can have that one back, and then we get the blanks out again. Right, what have we got in here? Blanks. What's this? What I am going to do actually is change the super around, because this one here isn't part of this hive. Look at that. So it looks like we've got 10 frames that have honey in them. So I will keep to 10 frames. I usually use 9s, but we're not extracting. This is for them for winter. And after the spring, we can change them around. So that's a nice one. I'll use that as the other side. Take that out. Ah, empty. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, it's 9 frames. Right, we are 9 frames. Because that one was empty that I just took out. So we'll put these back in here. There we go. And I'll space those in a moment. So this super can now come off. And we have a queen excluder. So what we do, now they are definitely being overwintered. Wood lice, lovely. Take that off, give them a shake. Now I'm not doing hive inspections. I did my last hive inspections a few weeks back. It's too late for me. I don't want to risk losing a queen because it can happen. So they are now ready for their winter super. Like so. Air conditioning sticks, as I like to call them, out. Right, let's space these out a bit better. Okay, girls, all right. So, now they don't have a queen excluder, they're completely free to roam. Always take your queen excluder off if you're overwintering supers. Now, I only leave 1 super because if I leave 2, I think it's a bit too much negative space for the bees. 1 should be sufficient. Obviously check on it over the winter period. And by taking the super off, that means when the cluster in the winter moves around the hive, the queen can go anywhere where the bees are. Whereas if you leave that on, and the bees come up into the super for food, the queen can't get through, so she will most likely die. So you've got to be really careful. You've got to take that off and make sure the bees are free to roam wherever they need to go. Hence why the queen can lay in the supers. So they are now ready. Get that out of the way. They are now ready for winter. Come on, girls, out. Done. If you are wanting to overwinter with supers on, and you've got, for instance, a nook or a new hive like this one over here, and if you have got double supers and they're all full or semi-full or not capped, you can actually take one of those supers off and give it to the other hive that hasn't got any supers for winter. Obviously, don't do it if your bees are diseased or have a problem, only do it with healthy colonies. But you can do that, you can help a neighbour out if you wanted to.